Hello. This weekend was the pre-order weekend for Age of Sigmar 4th edition, Skaventide. If you're like me, you'll be pretty excited for it, and hopefully you'll have pre-ordered your box from your friendly local game store or directly from Games Workshop. In this video, I want to talk about some of the other announcements they made all around Age of Sigmar 4th edition. Let's get into it. Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Wayne. I know, what are you thinking? Yeah, this is 2 weeks on the trot that I've put a video out. Well, I'm trying to get back into doing a video a week, even if some of the videos are just me talking about the things that I'm interested in that are coming out for the hobby that I love. There won't always be Warhammer, but in this case, it is definitely Warhammer themed. As I said in the intro, and I'm sure you'll know if you're watching this video, it was pre-order weekend for 4th edition. Age of Sigmar, that is. So we're 2 weeks away. Today is Monday the 1st, and it drops on the 13th. So literally 2 weeks to wait until we get our hands on that launch box. What else went up for pre-order this weekend? Well, the content's broken out for the launch box and some other goodies. Now that's what I want to talk about. Have you pre-ordered your launch box? Let me know down in the comments. But there's some other bits and pieces that they've shown, and I don't know if I want to get involved in, but let's take a look at it and see if we can decide. Let's jump over to the website and have a butcher's. So, the core book you can get separate. We kind of assumed this was going to happen, didn't we? And it's great. A lot of people might not be interested in the two factions that are in that launch box. I know, certainly, originally I was not planning on picking up that launch box because I have no interest in Skaven, and Stormcast are a little bit meh, I don't really care. But at the end of the day, I've decided to pre-order the box. I've done that via my friendly local games store, Murfield Miniatures. Check them out. They are amazing. I strongly recommend if you're in Yorkshire that you go and check them out. They've got some amazing bargains in there. But yeah, give them some custom. Give them some look. I'll put a link down in the comment. Anyway, they're not sponsoring me, so let's just get into this. Now, as I say, the core book, great that you can pick it up from launch day. We kind of assumed this was going to be the case. I won't be doing that, but it's good to see that you can get a couple of editions of it. This limited edition one does look stunning. I have to say, I do actually prefer it to the standard one with the helmeted head. It seems a little bit cheesy that understandably you would use the same art since it's most likely digital, and just swap out the head. I kind of wish they'd done something a little bit more interesting, but I do much prefer this version of it to the standard version. I would have liked it on the darker background, but whatever. I'm not going to be paying for a limited edition rulebook at the end of the day, so it doesn't really matter. What I do want to take a look at now, though, is the general handbook. Now, for those that don't know, the general handbook is for those people wanting to play competitively with that season's rules. Now, if you're picking up the core box, you will get a copy of this in the form of cards. However, what you won't get is this spiral-bound, small form factor book that has the core rules in it and all of the endless spell rules and such, but in a nice, easy to digest, easy to put on your tabletop, on your gaming surface, whatever it is, manner. This is absolutely key for me. So ideally I would have liked this to be in the box, and I know we are getting it, like say, in the form of those cards, but having a rules reference and those seasonal rules in one place I think is going to be invaluable for me as I'm learning to play, especially as I plan on going to some gaming hangouts to learn to play the game as well. I think having everything that I need in one small book rather than carting around the big core rules will really, really help me along. Now, I'm assuming this is going to be about 30 quid. I think they generally retail at the moment for about 25 to 27, depending on where you get them from. And, well, it's another additional cost, isn't it, to put on top of that core book, but I do think it is absolutely worth the purchase. Are you going to be getting it? Let me know down in the comments what you think about that. Has it got a good value proposition? Do you think this is the way that Games Workshop should be publishing the General's Handbook? Let me know. I'll be interested to see what you're thinking. Next up is the Fire and Jade pack. So the Spearhead version of the game that's packaged in that release box separately. getting the terrain, getting those ruler things, and that nice game board that's dual-sided with the objective markers built in, and some cards. A little bit of a cross with the Warcry with those twist cards and stuff. I do really like the idea of this, that you can get everything split out. Now, I do also like the fact that I'm going to be getting this inside of the core box, because I feel like Spearhead is going to be one of the main types of game that I'm playing, certainly at home, just because of the size of the space required to play it. It's a much more tabletop friendly size of gaming, isn't it? So that's great. Are you going to be picking it up? I don't know. It feels a little bit like Combat Patrol, and I don't know if many people play Combat Patrol. If you do, let me know. Let's have a conversation down in the comments and see if this is something that we think is going to take off. It feels like Games Workshop are putting a lot behind this, with rebranding all of the Start Collecting boxes or the Vanguard boxes as Spearheads. So that will be an interesting one to see if it takes off. Now, it'll be interesting as well to see what the pricing on this is going to be, because the value proposition between picking this up in the core box and not... I have a sneaking suspicion that this is going to retail for about £70, which seems a little bit expensive, I'm not going to lie. Granted, you do get a few bits of terrain in there. You're going to get the book. But other than that, I'm not convinced. Now, this is something that I didn't expect, and the last of the things that I really am excited about, the faction packs. Now, I'm not entirely sure what these are going to be, but I'm super keen to get my hands on some and have a look on what's inside. Of course, the Stormcast one will likely be in the box. I think we're going to get the cards in there and the Skaven ones, but I'm not 100% certain. Probably do need to check that out. But having all of these available at launch for anybody wanting to play the game seems like a really good idea. Now, my concern here is, much like the Warcry cards, when they came out for the individual warbands, are they going to be superseded really, really fast? These are apparently as well going to be available for download for free, so if you don't want to buy them, you are going to have access to them, and I'm guessing those are going to be the more updated versions anyway, straight out the gate. I'd be highly surprised if they don't rebalance this within the first week or so. I'm almost certainly going to pick a couple of these up just to see what they're like, do an opening, and see what we think. I've got Slaves to Darkness army, I've got a Maggot King of Nurgle army, so why not? Depending on the price, of course. I know a couple of people are going to be disappointed as well that Iron Jaws haven't got their own faction pack yet, and it's still in with the Orruk War Clans, but fingers crossed for those that are wanting to play with the Iron Jaws, that those will appear soon down the line. Well, that's the last of the things that I'm interested in, other than these dice. Just a reissue of the Grand Alliance dices. Dices? Of the dice packs. I can't say I'm overly interested in these. They do seem really overpriced for what they are. I'm kind of tempted to pick up the Grand Alliance Death, but it's only because it's got skulls on. And let's face it, we're into Warhammer. Skulls are everywhere, aren't they, right? And they're not sharp cornered, so probably going to be an easy pass for me on those. Anyway, what do you think? Are you going to be picking anything up? Did you pre-order Age of Sigmar 4th edition this weekend? Are you excited as I am? I know it's going to be a good one. And there's been some interesting conversations around, have they oversimplified the game? Well, from my perspective, I can't really comment on that because I didn't play enough 3rd edition to really be able to tell you the nuances of that compared to 4th at the moment. I haven't got my hands on the launch box yet. However, if they have streamlined it, if they have made it simpler for somebody like myself that's been into mostly the painting and creating side of the hobby compared to the actual playing, I think this is a really good opportunity to be exposed to understanding how to play the war game in general. What do you think to that? Do you think it is going to be oversimplified, or do you think this is going to be the right balance of narrative in the Path to Glory rules I've already got, Spearhead, and making a competitive, evenly balanced, tournament-ready gaming system? That's it for this time, guys, and I will see you next week for more Age of Sigmar content, no doubt, because I will be super excited by then. Have a good one. See you later.